Hey y'all. Hey, how y'all doing today, tonight, the evening, whenever you watch this? How y'all doing? Just wanted to hop on here and give y'all this week's revelation of evolving and prospering. So, this week was a bit of a challenge. This week was a lot of exposure, a lot of revealing, a lot of uncovering, um, pruning, refining, and it took me really submitting myself to the process, submitting myself to evolving, submitting myself to um, becoming this person this being that God has created me to be from the very beginning. So the first thing, like I mentioned, was exposure. The exposure came through just reading the word and seeing Him in the word and seeing how that applies to me and how it applies to my life now. And so what I did was I prayed on what I read. I prayed on the revelation that He gave me. And the revelation that He gave me opened up my mind and my heart and my soul to see my raw form, to see what was underneath. And so the first glimpse was not good. It was not good. It was me still holding on to wrongs done against me. The uncovering was, the exposure was an incident where someone had done me wrong. I had forgiven them. And there was an opportunity for me to expose them, or for me to do it wrong against them. And in that moment, my thoughts were, all I gotta do is just send this email, forward this email to my supervisor, and I can make them look the way that they've been making me look. And it was just a thought. And that very thought exposed what was in my heart, exposed that ugly side, that sinful nature. And right after the exposure came rebuke. And Holy Spirit said, don't do that. Don't do that. You could do that, but don't do that. And so I thought about it and I said, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I didn't. I didn't do it, and I held it. I worked on what I could work on. And I ended up diffusing a situation that could have been completely blown out of proportion, completely this chaotic. It would have created a mess. But instead, I was able to diffuse it by leaning into what Holy Spirit was showing me and telling me and guiding me in. And so, how did it end? So, in me doing that, I kept it. I ended up helping the individual. Holy Spirit gave me such wisdom in that situation. He had me to reach out to the individual that was in the midst of whatever the situation was that was going on, see what they needed, help them in the midst of helping the other person that hurt me or offended me. Not even hurt, but it was offense there. And in the midst of that, there was a level of conviction in the person that offended me, because the way that in which I worded my email to them, the way in which I handled the situation, just was beyond my. I didn't even think about it that way until Holy Spirit brought it to me and said, "No, if you do it like this will be better. This is the way. This is the way of love. This is the way of truth. This is how they know that you belong to me, and that I am real, and that I am God." And so it's like, okay, yeah, that's what I want. I want my Father to be glorified. I always pray it. I always say it. But this is an opportunity for my actions to line up with what I pray, with what I say. So I was like, okay. So I rejected the thought and I did the opposite. And in the end, this individual immediately sent me an email, "Thank you so much." And even to the extreme of after I said, "You're welcome," and of course, no problem, I don't know, I didn't say no problem. I said, of course. They came to me. They came to me, woman to woman. And it's like, "I appreciate you doing that for me. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much." And it was a humbling experience. It was an experience to where, oh my God, you allowed me to be your vessel in this moment. You allowed me to receive your love and to give it out. Not to I thought I should give it out, because normally we love those who love us. We love those who show us love, who show us affection. We tend to gravitate into those people and to love those people. To the people that offend us, it's a little bit hard to show love. And so in that moment, I showed love. I gave love. And it felt so good. It felt so good. And just to see the outcome of it, the ending of it, and them to know where I stand as far as my walk and my beliefs and all of that. Seeds were planted. I know they were planted. Yet at the same time, that's where the pruning came in. That's where the cutting away came in at. He cut away. What part? So for that, he cut away. He cut through the offense. He cut through, even though I forgave, it was still there. I didn't give it to him because of the thoughts that I had, because of the way I felt when I seen an email with their name on it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, it's still here. The root, well, not the root, the seed of offense. And it was trying to plant, it was trying to take root, it was trying to take root so that it could sprout bitterness and unforgiveness and all the other things that go with offense, anger and all this kind of stuff. And I haven't seen it like that until just now. Like, I'm getting the revelation now. But in that moment, all I knew was, he said, no, don't do it. You cannot defend yourself. Let me defend you. And so there are things that I believe that he is doing that I can't even see, of things that are going on beyond my understanding, beyond what I actually know and see, that he is working together in the background, that he is doing. There are things, sometimes when I pray, I believe that Holy Spirit, since that moment, I believe that Holy Spirit is uncovering, because everything in the darkness comes to light. So I believe that he is uncovering the very things that have been going on in the workplace. He's exposed, he's bringing exposure, he's uncovering it. And my management, supervisor, all of that, they're becoming aware And so, just like he said, that you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to fight this battle. Let me fight for you. It's the hardest thing because no, I want to show you, and I got an opportunity. And I got an opportunity. I wanted to so bad, y'all. And that's the part that he rebuked. And I felt it when it came. When it came, like, all I could think about was myself. And how many times I've done things before Christ, before my relationship, in ignorance because of things that were done to me, doing what was done to me to somebody else. It's so unfair. And that's not how he treats us. That's not how he treats me. He's so fair. He's so loving. He's so faithful and consistent. And I had to show that. It was in me. It was in me. All that I've been receiving, all the love that I've been receiving, all the faithfulness I've been receiving, the consistency I've been receiving from him. I had to give that back. I had to release that. And in me giving love in that moment, and in me overlooking an offense, covering that fault, he did something amazing. Ain't no telling what was going on the inside of her, in her mind, in her heart, in her soul, the work that he was doing. We can all be influenced. We can all be where she was. We can all be that person that offends somebody else, because I've done it several times. And to pardon it, to let it go, is a beautiful thing. Never thought I'd be in this kind of mindset. Never thought I would think this way. Never thought that I would have this kind of thought process. And it comes from understanding where I stand. All he did was show me. In that moment, when I was getting ready to send that email, I hadn't even opened it up to create it, but it was a thought in my mind. He showed me. And he showed me how many times I have offended him. And not to bring condemnation, and not in that way. It was just a light conviction. It was just like, you know what you've done. You know who you've been. You know what you're working through. You're still evolving. You're not perfect. And it was just like, yeah, you're right. That could have easily been me. Would I want somebody to treat me that way? Knowing, it's just knowing where I am with him. Knowing that there's a love that I've received, that a measure of love that I've received that no person on this earth could ever give me. A love that fulfills me inwardly, that sometimes I can't even describe it, put words to it. It's beyond my comprehension. It's beyond my understanding. That type of love. And so that in that moment when he showed me, I was like, yeah, now there's things that you've forgiven me of, things that you let go, things that you caused to just be literally thrown into a sea and forgotten. Just like the word says. The only time it's brought up is when I bring it up. And so in that moment, my character was pruned. Offense was cut out. And love was placed in. Love was received. Love that covers a multitude of faults. Love that covered that pardon, that offense, that pardon, that whatever happened, whatever was, so that I don't keep that record. And so that I can see her as she is, a created being, uniquely, God's creation. And so also there was a refining of my thoughts. He refined my thoughts to the way to where now I speak to you about this. I'm processing, and I'm walking through the whole experience. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Even though I had the thought, the action behind what he said, the instructions that he gave me, and how he told me to do it, and to put my own expression in the email, and to put my own verbiage in it, was beyond my understanding. It didn't feel fake. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel none of that. It just felt like, I'm doing this not for you. I'm doing this for him. Because in this, he gets the glory. In this, he will be glorified. And that's exactly what happened, because it was just like, when she came to my desk, the email that I got, I was like, yeah, that's just a little kindness with kindness, as they call it. And it wasn't until she actually got up and came over there to my desk and told me verbally out of her mouth, thank you. And I saw it in her eyes, the gratefulness. That's when it hit home. And as soon as she left, my eyes watered up, y'all. Because I kept talking to the Holy Spirit. I just kept telling her, you use me to touch her. You use me to do that. Like, I ain't never seen her like that. Like, 9 times out of 10 when I see her, it's always gossip. It's always backbiting. It's always something's wrong. It's never sometimes on a positive note, but not always. Not always. So to see that side is the impact of the seed that was planted. By helping, by serving her where I didn't have to. Could have afforded that easily. I could have did something. This was my opportunity. That was my opportunity. That was my moment. Like David had an opportunity to cut Saul up in that cave. He could have killed that man. And all he did was cut his garment. I had an opportunity, and I didn't take it. And I allowed the work to be done in me. It did not feel good in the moment. I was smiling now, but in that moment, I wanted to get back. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. But I know it wouldn't have solved nothing because I'd done it before. I'd had an opportunity, and I took the opportunity, and it did not turn out like that. It ended up coming back on me. And I'm like, I'm trying to show you that, or I'm trying to defend myself, and I'm trying to show you it ain't me, it's them. And it backfired. And it landed on me, and it hit me. Because I didn't take the route that God was telling me to take. I didn't take the route the Holy Spirit was telling me to take. But this go round, passed the test. And it feels so good, and it feels so freeing, and it feels so like that. Like you could just exhale. Like you can exhale the care, you can exhale the offense, you can exhale what has been done, the wrong's been said, all of it. And inhale his love, inhale his grace, inhale his mercy. Because that's what he did. He gave us mercy. Despite our flaws, despite our failures, wrongdoing, things that we blatantly did against him. Well, for me, I'm going to speak on me. Things I know I blatantly did against him, knowing it was wrong, but I did it anyways. Straight rebellion. And just knowing that that I'm forgiven, that he forgives me, and that I forgive myself. That's the beauty in it. So basically for today's video, the 4 points that I want to touch on, that I've touched on, is the exposure of my raw form, the exposure of those thoughts, and the second one is the rebuking of my sinful nature, the rebuking of the actions that I wanted to take concerning those thoughts. Third is the pruning of my character, the cutting away of the offense. And that could be anything. You could tie that to anything concerning negative character in your own life. And lastly is the refining of those thoughts. Going back and reflecting on the whole situation. And it's almost like a rewiring. It's like I took out a socket. I took out that plug and plugged it into another outlet. I took it out of there and I plugged it into another outlet. And I rewired the way that I think about those type of situations, the way that I will in the future carry them out. And another thing, a bonus I just thought about, it just hit my spirit, is I created a dependency on him, on his spirit, on him to work in the midst, on him to do what he does best. I created a dependency on wisdom. I created a dependency on understanding, and not just reacting, but allowing him to reign in that situation, giving him access. Because I could have took control of the situation. Not really control, but trying, in my mind, thinking I'm taking control of the situation. In the end, he gonna have the last say so. But it would not have turned out the way it turned out. I would not have felt the way I felt in my heart. I would not have been humbled the way that I was humbled. And I wouldn't have received, it was like an influx of love even after she left my desk. When I opened up and I told him, thank you for using me as your vessel. Because in that moment, it hit my spirit, it hit my soul. Like, you just used as a vessel. He just used you to plant a seed in her. That's why offense tried to overtake you. Because if you're offended, there's no way that you could plant a seed. So, my dependency on him, my awareness of him using me in that moment, and me pouring out my heart to him in that moment. As soon as I poured my heart out, I felt the love come in. Y'all, I was almost bawling at my desk. I didn't. I tried to hold it in, but my eyes watered up. And I had to get up and go to the bathroom and clean my face. But it was so amazing. It was almost like a cleansing or a cleaning of toxins from my body. I don't know if y'all ever been on a detox, but that's the way it felt. And I love the bonus, the dependency that I have on him, in that moment, to depend on him, to rely on him for his instructions, for his insight, for his wisdom, because I know he know better than me. I know that he would have handled that way better than I would have. And the refined thoughts that I got from it, that he's working behind the scenes, not the way I think that it's working, but he's working it together. He's defending me. He's defending my reputation. He's defending my character. He's defending me against everything that comes against me. Things seen and unseen all the time. And so, yeah, I just wanted to leave y'all with that. And y'all have a beautiful evening, day, night. Whenever you watch this, be beautiful.